Hungary has a truly unique and delicious cuisine in the world of food. But the thing is, most visitors of the country will probably only scratch the surface when deciding on a dish at a restaurant. So let's take a look at 10 food items you should definitely try when coming to Hungary. Let's start with a dish that's most commonly found among appetizers on the menu. The Hortobagyi Crepe is filled with meat that was prepared as part of a stew, but the sauce from that stew is separated from the meat and poured onto the crepe itself, then topped with some sour cream. It's a perfect entry into Hungarian dishes as it combines the elements of the paprika powder flavored stew and the sour cream, which are both frequently used in our cuisine. Fun fact is that the name is actually just branding. Hortobágy is a famous region of the Hungarian plains, where the vast emptiness of the horizon surrounds you. But this dish didn't originate from there. It was invented for one of the world fairs in the 1950s. Everyone who visits Hungary has definitely heard about the Goulash soup. But there is another soup dish that should also deserve praise, and that is the Jókai bean soup or Jókai bableves. It got its name after the famous Hungarian novelist Mór Jókai, who loved to eat the dish as a regular in a restaurant. Perhaps the recipe changed since his time, but the basics are still there. There's the tasty broth you get thanks to the pork knuckles, paired with vegetables like beans and carrots, the flavors elevated by paprika powder, topped in the end with some sour cream, and all of that together makes this dish a delight to be eaten. Next is Mátrai Borzaska, or sometimes called Kárpáti Borzaska. This dish demonstrates two truths about food. One is that deep frying makes everything taste amazing, and two, sour cream is a great ingredient in food. A slice of pork is coated with some shredded potatoes, deep fried and then topped with sour cream and cheese. It's like langos, but there is meat in the middle of it. And since you essentially have potato covering the pork, you don't even need a side dish for this one. By the way, regarding the name, Mátrai and Kárpát refers to the mountains in and surrounding Hungary. And when we want to talk about Borzaska, well, Google Translate gave a cool but definitely not correct answer. Borzaska essentially means something like tangled or messy fur, which refers to the outside of this dish. Then we have roast à la Brasov, or brassói aprópecsény. This dish is mainly made with pork roast and seasoned potatoes, with flavors of garlic and a bit of paprika. It's a simple dish, but as the fried potatoes get softened by the fat of the pork, it makes for an ideal comfort food. The origin of the name, however, is a bit of a mystery and heavily contested. According to some records, this dish was invented by the Hungarian head chef of the state railways when he was traveling between Budapest and Brasov. But that origin isn't really accepted by everyone. Nevertheless, it's a really tasty dish if you enjoy pork and garlic. By the way, you'll find many dishes which use pork meat, bacon, and even most of our sausages and salamis are pork-based. Pork meat's rise in popularity dates back to the time when part of Hungary was under Ottoman Empire rule. Back then, the Islamic soldiers took away all the animals from the peasants, except for pork, which was considered forbidden as per the religion. Which is how Hungarians mastered the art of using almost every part of pork in the Hungarian diet. And we also have a special kind of pork here in Hungary called mongolica, which is different from the common pork thanks to its fluffy fur. Let's continue our list with Lecsó, which is a thick ragu or stew where the traditional yellow peppers come together with tomato and joined by onion, garlic, and paprika powder. It's one of my personal favorite dishes because it can be customized to your liking with sausages, bacon, or any kind of meat basically. It's kind of rare to see lecsó on its own on restaurant menus, but the element of lecsó is sometimes incorporated into other dishes, like having a slice of pork topped with lecsó. But on markets and buffet-style diners, you can sometimes find the basic, simple lecsó, which is perhaps the best way of enjoying it in my opinion. In Europe, the average person eats about 23 kilograms of fish every year. In Hungary, that number is just 4 kilograms, and those low numbers are mostly made up by fish consumed traditionally at Christmas time. One of the dishes we eat at that time is Fisherman's Soup, where the flavors of freshwater fish meet with a generous amount of paprika powder. You can find different versions with pasta or with spätzle we call nokedli, or just fish innards in general. It's kind of rare on restaurant menus since it takes a long time to prepare, but if you do find it listed and you enjoy fish, you should definitely order a bowl of Fisherman's Soup. Probably the most popular and known Hungarian dish is Goulash, or as we say it, Gulyás. It dates back to the earliest days of our history, when Hungarians were predominantly animal herders, and the name refers to the cattle herdsmen, or cowboys we called Gulyás. It's a thick red soup with paprika powder, vegetables like potato and carrots, with tender beef meat. It's the perfect comfort food that's also mildly spicy that should definitely be tried if you are a first-timer in Hungary. At some places, you'll find Gulyás soup served in carved bread, but in my opinion, that's more of a gimmick than a way to elevate the taste of the dish. Before we continue, you might be wondering what are the restaurants you should visit if you wish to eat any item from this list. Now the thing is that most Hungarians will say it's the place of their parents or grandparents, as every family has their special own way of making these dishes. But jokes aside, a few places to name are Ghetto Gulyás, Reteg Bistro, Pozsonyi Vendéglő, or 21 Hungarian Restaurant, which are all places we've been to, but we'll leave a list of some of the other restaurants we've heard are good down below in the description. And if you enjoyed this video and wish to support us, you can do so by pressing the like button, or you can also use the thanks button to support us even more. Makes us very happy if you do so. Thanks! Chicken Paprikash is probably the best example of how a paprika powder based roll goes so well with sour cream. It's best when prepared with chicken thighs along with nokedli, which is a local version of spätzle. The meat gets tender as it is simmered in the sauce, gets infused with the paprika flavors and easily falls off the bones. It's one of my personal favorite flavors from Hungarian cuisine. By the way, as you may have noticed, a lot of our dishes incorporate paprika powder, sweet or spicy versions of it. And while it may seem that it's been an ingredient in Hungarian kitchens since the beginnings, it actually only started to become a mainstream item in the 18th century. Before that, it was mainly used as a medicinal item, and its usage grew significantly during cholera outbreaks as a preventative, which may make sense because of its high vitamin C content. You might recognize the name of this dish, since it inspired the channel's name as well. Stuffed cabbage kind of symbolizes how Hungarian cooking learned from neighbors and other folk we encountered over history. Cabbage is an element we took from our Slavic neighbors. Stuffing leaves and rice comes from the time the Turkish Empire took over part of Hungary. Sour cream was learned as a way to preserve dairy products from the time we were herding a lot of cattle. Powdered paprika was invented by Hungarian peasants who found out that paprika's flavor can be extracted well when cooked with lard and onions. It all comes together in one of the most unique flavored Hungarian dishes that's easily one of my favorites. If you can eat only one Hungarian dish, I would say Pörkölt is the best choice. While it's technically a stew, the trick is that the meat is first stir-fried along with paprika powder and onions in lard. This seals the flavors of the meat and keeps them juicy as it is then simmered for a long period of time. The word Pörkölt is a reflection of this method since it means to roast. Served with either pasta, nokedli or tarhonya, which are big pasta grains, paired with some pickled cabbage or cucumber and some nice red wine, and you have an absolutely delicious meal. These were some of the dishes we can highly recommend trying, but we didn't talk about lángos or kürtös kalács because those are more like street foods, and there are some more items from Hungarian kitchens that could fill another video. So if you wish to see that, then perhaps leave a comment below to let us know and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss when that video comes out in the future. Thanks for watching and see you guys in our future videos. Bye!